We're gonna be live very, 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 very soon, ladies and gentlemen, on how to build your custom GPT step by step. We'll let all you come in, come in, come in, come in, come in, and we're gonna be live very, very soon, under a minute potentially. All right. Hello, 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 everybody. Let me start like this instead. Hope you can hear me, see me. I'll put the music down a little bit. If you can hear me, see me, please do some reactions, do some magic on the chat, on the comments, just to make sure that we are live and that everybody can hear me and see me. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Awesome. I'll double check that on LinkedIn just in case. That sometimes, as you know, technical issues happen. It's classic. Each time we want to go live, things like that happens. Let me see. I'm double checking on my left. Well, I'm very excited for today. Okay, we are live. We have already Vivian. Vivian, hello. Awesome to have you here. We have a bunch of cool people here that we've messaged. So thank you for coming in. Well, it's going to be really a fun one today. I'm quite sick, but I think that, I didn't want to postpone it or anything like that. So if I'm coughing a bit and so on, apologies for that. But I'm very excited about this. So it's going to give me energy, and I know it's going to be really awesome. Cool. So from now on, don't forget anything that goes on the chat. I see it, and I usually comment on it. So any questions as we go along and so on, just put it on the chat wherever you are, even if you're on YouTube or on LinkedIn. We're live, and I most of the time tackle almost all questions. So just ask it, and I'll be happy to tackle them. Lila's here. Thank you, Lila. Nice to see you. Carlos, awesome. Maya, nice one. Perfect. We have a really good, nice little crew, so we can get this magic started. Cool. Well, today, you know what's happening, right? We're going to talk about custom GPTs. We're going to build custom GPT together. But before that, I prepared a little bit of a presentation just as a bit of a understanding. I think it's going to be very important because a lot of people ask me a bunch of questions about them. So I want to tackle that very quickly. So ask me questions in the meantime, okay, on the chat, and I can answer them right away. But we're going to have some Q&A at the end where you can, of course, again, ask whatever questions you may have. And if you know me, I answer everything. If I don't know, I'll go figure it out and come back. Very exciting. Cool. Let me share my screen because I prepared something a little bit for you guys this time. Let's see if I can do something like this. Let's see. Okay, awesome. Yeah, maybe this is gonna be better. Hey, Alex. Awesome. Thank you for coming. Amazing. We have a really nice crew, as I mentioned here. So thanks to everybody coming in again. Cool. So today, oh, that's funny. It looks like double TaskDrive logos because one from the presentation and one from the thing. So that's fun. But I'm sure that that'll get fixed. Oh wow, that got fixed already. As I said, it's like AI, but actually no, it's a AI powered EA. This one. So thank you very much to my AI powered EA. Cool. So welcome to the custom GPT workshop. That little robot you see, I think that's my alter ego almost. I love it. That's Tool-Time Tim. He's in a suit. He looks cooler than me. And he leads an army of robots. Maybe you saw it on LinkedIn already. I'm really into my mid journey, so there's going to be really cool imagery as well from now on. So thanks again. Welcome to this session. So why custom GPTs? One of the most important questions to answer is why custom GPTs, right? So ChatGPT is awesome and all that, but custom GPTs is where really you can drill down and have your brand voice. You can have the tasks you want it to be done and so on, and the instructions to be very specific, which I'm going to show you. Don't worry if you don't understand everything just now, but I can tell you that I say and I do really believe in this. Hi Liza, thank you very much. It's 1 plus AI equals to 5 minus AI, right? So what does that mean? Is I believe, okay, yeah, this is recorded, by the way, so you can watch it after, of course. Jason, oh, awesome! Thank you very much for already enjoying it. So just going back on the 1 plus AI equals 5 minus AI. So in my belief, okay, one person using AI, using GPTs, using ChatGPT, knowing prompt engineering, using some other AI tools that could be, Gen AI tools like Bard, it could be Anthropic, it could be Copilot. There's also, like presentation ones. Like I did this presentation on Gamma.ai. Very cool. There's so many AI tools, right? Or tools that are powered with AI that has some AI capabilities. So knowing these type of tools and having a really good tool stack of AI tools can get you to 5x productivity. I 100% believe in this 5x productivity. Right, and this is why we even pivoted our business at TaskDrive, which I'll talk to you about it. Now we do offer AI-powered human virtual assistants, right? So that they can do the job of 5. So also, Accenture had an amazing study, by the way, guys, that 62% of daily work, of daily tasks are repetitive, right? So if we can get rid of that 62% of these tasks gone, right, it's, farewell to boredom, right? Especially that I put that as an ADHD friendly there, because, if you know me, I'm hyperactive, I have ADHD. And boring work or repetitive work that is the same, that doesn't tap into my cognitive power, to my high cognitive side, then I get bored. And I bet you a lot of you are like that, even if you don't have ADHD, right? We all want to be stimulated by interesting tasks, right? And when we don't, this is when you get bored at work. When we say, I'm bored at my job, I'm bored at work. Usually you hear that from people who doesn't do fun stuff at work, right? And fun stuff is, I think, a lot in this AI world that we're seeing. I'm gonna say it's not the future because it's here, it's the present, but we're still very early stage. There's still a lot to do. So don't worry, you didn't miss the boat whatsoever. All right. So really, the custom GPTs can help you get under that 5x, because you don't need one GPT. You can have many GPTs. You can have a bunch of them that we're going to look at in a minute. And that can really help you get rid of that 62% repetitive tasks, and you'll have more fun. Cool. So what's on the agenda? A bit of introduction, right? And then understanding GPTs. We're going to understand a little bit the underlying technology behind GPTs, and actually GPT, because Chat GPT is also a GPT, right? It's a version of a GPT built called Chat GPT. Why? Because it has the UX, it has the UI, that where you can go, and it's a bit simpler. And then we're going to look at custom GPTs and why and how to tailor a GPT for you. Okay. And by the way, if you have an idea of what you want me to build, you can already put it in the chat, because I'm going to build something live, and hopefully we're going to have some time for that. And I'll be more than happy to do whatever you have in mind. So, and yeah, the live demo is going to be where, I'm going to do a hands-on illustration of building a custom GPT. Awesome. Cool. So this is an image that I was testing out. So it's Meet Your Guides. It's me, and I'm still testing this. But I love AI. I love entrepreneurship, and I absolutely love innovation. And if you know me, it's all about tool time Tim. They call me. So it's all about tools. Um, I love Jason's comment in the meantime, so let's put that up on the screen. Jason said, I just have to be careful that it doesn't 5x my ADHD. Well, I don't think so. I don't think so, Jason. I think it should be the opposite, right? Because your ADHD, for your ADHD to get better, what do you do? Cognitive, right? You stimulate your mind all the time, and to stimulate our mind, this is the best world that we're living right now with the AI. So I really do believe that's going to be key to help you relax your ADHD. It really, me getting busy with everything does help me a lot. So Jedi version of Tim. Thank you very much, Eileen. Yeah, well, this is something I was testing. It's very difficult to get characters, consistent characters. So I'm testing a few tools for that. Cool. Let's continue anyway. So, I'm the CEO of TaskDrive. If you know me on LinkedIn, I post about AI and tools all the time. I have a newsletter, and I've been in AI. What I just realized about 6, 7 years ago, when AI wasn't even cool. So I was doing computer vision for real estate back in the old days. So I do believe that I'm the right guy to help you guys. And if I don't know something, I'm not gonna bullshit. I'm gonna go and learn it for you, with you, and then at least we'll learn it together. As I mentioned, we're gonna look at the generalized pre-trained transformer. We're gonna explain a tiny bit of that. We're gonna look at the applications, from the chatbots to content generation of GPTs, and then we're gonna look at the benefits, streamlining the workflows across industries. That's very, very important. So very quickly, custom GPTs unleashed, as I say here. Why custom GPTs? If you know ChatGPT, it's great. If you have your custom instructions on ChatGPT, it's a little bit better. But if you have a GPT, you have that much more personalized experience. You can be a much more efficient, and you can really scale those GPTs so that you can grow with your business, right? You can grow your business with these GPTs. And I think that's very interesting, because you can have different characters of GPTs that have different roles and so on. And that's where really the magic starts happening. Cool. So how GPTs learn. The GPT, which is the real technology behind it, um, is GPTs, right? So what do? They have data ingestion. So they have, 1 second, guys. Sorry about that. I have suddenly my daughters around. All right. So yeah, my daughter is very excited about GPTs as well. So she's just under the table. But I asked her, hopefully that she's gonna give us a bit of time to do this presentation. So how does GPTs learn? So I'm gonna talk to you about the actual technology, and then I'm gonna compare that to the GPTs that we're gonna build. So as I mentioned, the data ingestion, right? It learns from all this data. It learns actually until now GPT-4 and so on from billions of websites out there. There could be documents, websites, and so on. Whatever is online is learned from that. And then is the algorithm training, right? To fine tuning and understanding the different nuances and making sure that it doesn't do mistakes, it doesn't hallucinate. But it's still going to hallucinate a lot. But we're reducing that quite a bit by fine tuning it. And then it's all about model refinement, continuous improvement cycles. And that's what happened with GPT 3.5 to GPT 4. Hopefully we're going to have a GPT 4.5. They were saying about GPT 5, but I think GPT 4.5 is going to come quite soonish. And then we're going to look at GPT 5 very soon. Azar, hi from India. Well, hi from Turkey. Nice to see you here. Thank you very much for joining us. Yeah, Christopher. Well, thank you for attending. I mean, here to share whatever I know. I will always share whatever I know. It's all free knowledge, complimentary. Have it, take it, build it, ask me questions. I love it. I absolutely love it. Cool. So that's how GPTs learn. But so now I want to talk to you about a blueprint to build your GPT. Okay. Take notes. This is going to be available, the recording, so you can rewatch it. Take notes. We're going to do it in a second together. Okay, we're going to actually build it together. But I wanted to give you a little bit more of a blueprint, a framework, somehow to think, because A lot of people potentially here that build GPTs, they're like, oh, like I'm struggling because I don't know exactly how to build it, or they just put a little bit of, I saw some very short instructions and so on. So we're gonna do something a bit cooler than that. So one, make a plan. Okay, have a plan. Like I wasn't even making plans, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna build a GPT, and I go and I build it. And I'm like, oh, I'm stuck. I don't know what to do. What was the task that I wanted to do, and so on. So if you have a plan about it, things change quite a bit, right? So maybe also I'm going to try to do this while I'm presenting sometimes, so that you can also see me a little bit bigger, hopefully. So who is the target user for your GPT? Right, it might be yourself. Most of the time is myself, to be honest. Like I don't build GPTs to make money, or I don't build GPTs for people. Like I do build for people, but most of the time is I'm the target user. As an entrepreneur, as a CEO, as a father, as a tool freak, as a content creator, I think about my own use case. So I build stuff for me. But you might be building something for your SDRs. You might be building for your lead researchers. You might be building something for your marketing assistant, for your executive assistant, which I've done that previously. Or you might be building for your social media associate, which we're going to do now as well soon. So very important to think about that. What problems do they have? Right? Most of the time, the problems is not, when I say problem, everybody's like, oh, maybe they might not have a problem. Well, they do have a problem because it's difficult to come up with original content. It's difficult to be on brand voice, right? These are also problems, and that these are amazing problems that we can, reduce by having a custom GPT. What might they automate? What can they automate? Like idea generation, it can be very, very well automated, and a GPT can work wonders in that. And then you have to think about which capabilities you want your GPT to have, right? There's actually, here is 4, but normally that's 3 features, and it does 3 and 4 together. So maybe I'll make that a tiny bit bigger again. So web search, it says on the tin, it can go and scrape the web live, because everybody's like, yeah, well, Tim, GPT-4 has access till 2023 June or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. For now, top of my head, I took a lot of painkillers to be able to be here. But with web search, you can have information from today. So if you have web search on your GPT, you can ask, what's the news today in Turkey, and you'll see a lot of political things as usual. Right? If you have image generation, you'll be able to say, you've done a piece of blog or a draft, that you can say, can you give me an image? Can you give me a header? Can you give me something about that is visual? And ChatGPT, or the GPT that you will build, will tap into the image generation and will give you a visual, an image, a logo, an icon, things like that, or even a chart, right? Code evaluation and documentation retrieval. That's actually one feature, right? And that's the old code interpreter that was called even before that something else, and then it kept changing it. So that can actually evaluate code, but it can also import and I'm going to say upload, but no, import and export documents, right? So on the bottom left, you get that little, file uploading. So that's really a document retrieval piece, and that. Okay, cool. So just keep these in mind, okay, and build your little plan. Can be really just a pen and paper and say, who is it for? What is it gonna solve? What's the capabilities that you're really looking for? So then the 3 really main things inside after that is to have instructions, knowledge, and the capabilities. The capabilities, we talked about them, so I'm not going to touch upon them that much again. But instructions, the instructions is actually what we're doing today with prompting on ChatGPT, right? That first prompt that we do, that's kind of an instruction. Or if you have custom instructions on ChatGPT, on the bottom left on your settings, you can have custom instructions. That's also the type of instructions that GPTs can have. Okay. And the knowledge is the documents that you can upload for the GPT to read. Okay, you can do about 20 documents, and the documents, all documents of the 20 documents can be up to 10 gig, if I'm not mistaken, right? That was the latest. So instructions and knowledge are super important. Okay, and then the capabilities is just feature sets that you want your GPTs to have. We're gonna look into all of these. So if you have any questions, bring them already on the chat, and I will tackle them all. Okay, cool. So we have a plan, we're in our building stage, let's say, we have our instructions, we know the knowledge that we're going to import or upload into our GPT, and we know the capabilities that the GPT should have. Awesome. So then after you build it, it's the simple test and iterate. Okay. You gotta keep testing it and iterating. My GPT Revenue Catalyst has been out there for since day one. And I get feedback now thanks to OpenAI. There's a button where you can give me feedback. So if you can give me feedback, that's awesome. I got a feedback the other day from Brian. So thank you very much, Brian, if you're here. And I was able to iterate on it. So because I missed that, that iteration, like I didn't think about that. And Brian used it for his own use case, and he was like, "Tim, can you do this?" I was like, "Oh, great. Okay, I'll implement that as well." So test and iterate. A GPT is an ongoing process. Don't build it just once and then forget about it. Cool. Publish it if you want other people to use it, or publish it if you want your team to use it, or publish it just for yourself. Okay, there's 3 options actually that I can show you in a second as well. So now I think it's the time for building a custom GPT live, and I hope you like the background image. It looks like it's from a movie, right? But that's my own movie that I just generated. It's from Midjourney, which I also will discuss at some point. Cool. So let's get into that. I'm just going to change my screen now. Here we go. So let's go. And then you might even ask me at some point, what am I using as a browser? If you see my browser settings, hopefully. I'm going to do a post about that very soon as well. Anyways. Cool. So let's see if you can see my ChatGPT now. You should be able to see my ChatGPT in a second. Cool. I can see it. Can you see it? Hope you can see it. Cool, cool, cool. I'm just double checking if people can see it. Awesome. So my chat GPT looks a little bit different, right? Because there's if you're not using AI PRM, and if you don't know about AI PRM, then you're like, oh, why is your chat GPT looks different than mine? Well, because I do have a bunch of things on top of it, right? So what I have is AI PRM, a Chrome extension that has my prompt library, and there I can do custom prompts and have my library of everything, and I can even give my team a different kind of prompts, so that they have their own prompts and they can use according to the team their own prompts. This is shared with my executive assistant. She has access to all these prompts, so I build them, and then she can also do her work much more efficiently and keep the quality there. So hello to all the newcomers, Oliver, Fran, thank you very much. Awesome. Keep the comments coming, and please do share it on your LinkedIn's. Do share it. Do share it to everybody, and follow me on LinkedIn if you don't follow me already, of course. And please do share the webinar if you believe already that you're getting value. Share it to others so that they get value as well. Sharing is caring. Okay, this is why I'm here. Cool. So I'm not going to talk more about prompts and stuff because I want to talk to you about GPTs. Okay. So as you know, sorry about that. I am sick, so sometimes I'm on quite high medicine, but I think we'll make it happen. So GPTs. So if you click on Explore GPTs, you're gonna come to a GPT library. So you're gonna have the original GPT library of OpenAI, and if you do have AI PRM, you're gonna have an AI PRM community GPTs. Okay, so these are different than what you see if you don't have AI PRM. Okay, but it's great because you can come in here. You can type in revenue, and if you type in revenue catalyst, you're gonna come to a GPT by me to help you make more money. It's already used 1.8 thousand times. Wow, I didn't know that. Last time it was about 700, 800. So it's getting popular. Cool. And you could be thinking, I need something for SEO. You can find some really cool SEO ones as well. Okay. But on the bottom, again, if you continue, trending by ChatGPT, Dolly 3, writing, productivity, research analysis, and stuff, they are on the official GPT library of ChatGPT of OpenAI. Okay, well, we can all publish there, and then you can find them. Okay. And we can find them. So you have different categories like programming. If you're into coding, even if you're not into coding, and you get an email from a company saying, I will build you a web apps and mobile apps. Don't believe them, because you can build it yourself. These days, you can build everything yourself just with a little bit of curiosity and with the right GPT, right? If you have the right GPT, you can do anything you want. I believe in this. I even had a stain on my jacket, and my stain was really bad. And then, we had a couple people tested it and so on, and then the stain wasn't going. I found a GPT called the Laundry Buddy, and I asked, I said, what type of jacket was it? What fabric was it? I said, what type of stain it is? It gave me some tips. I used it, and then the stain is gone. Right? So GPT can help you with that as well. Cool. So you're going to have all these GPTs, they're categorized and so on. But I'm going to come to my GPTs because I want to talk to you about my GPTs and show you a little bit in the back end, and then we're going to build one, okay? And I think it's very important to show you a little bit to the back end because they're already built. I don't like that it doesn't show the images, but that's fine. There's a bunch of images. So as it says on the tin, my newsletter assistant, only me, it's for myself, and so on. So just quick, use cases type of thing. My content crafter, I think it's one that I should show you because it has quite extensive instructions and it has great knowledge as well. So when you edit or when you're creating a GPT, this is where you're going to come in. Okay, maybe I'll show you in a second an empty one and we'll do it. But now I want you to see one that is actually done. Okay, so this one is content crafter, right? It's casual friendly AI content creator focused on efficient, clear communication. This is actually only shared between me and my executive assistant. This is not available in the GPT store, in the GPT library, right? It's only available via link, okay? And as I was telling you, there's three options, right? There's anyone with a link, everyone, or only me. Okay, so this is anyone with a link. So I give the link to my EA and she can use it as well. So, it's called Content Crafter, as we can see here, right? The description, we said it. The instructions is what I mentioned where the magic starts happening. So I'll open those instructions in a bigger format. Okay, so in the instructions, I'm not going to read everything, but very quickly, it says, it's a role. Content Crafter is a highly specialized, personalized content writing assistant designed to craft Tim Cakir's personal newsletter, blog post, LinkedIn post, and other related content. So it knows its role. Its role is for me, right? It's my content crafter, it's my assistant, okay, my writing assistant. And then it has all about my personal voice. And then I even talk about it. I talk about, let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger for everybody. Yes. It also knows, how my newsletter works, what's the structure of my newsletter. Then it knows, how I do my LinkedIn posts. Then it knows about my blog post and so on. And you might be like, oh, you could put more instructions. You can actually, I got into the limit of GPT instructions the other day, and it was awesome to see that. It's 8,000 characters. Right, and I got into that, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is ridiculous!" I got into that. I think it's 8,000 tokens. Sorry, and tokens is a bigger topic that we can talk about it. What is it? Brand voice. I'm trying to figure out what to put there for myself. Alex, absolutely, that's a great question. That's a great question. Let me see if I can do that because I know when the question comes, I disappear. Alex has an awesome question, everybody. Alex is asking, would you please tell a little bit about what is it brand voice, or what is the brand voice? I'm trying to figure out what to put there for myself. Okay, so that's awesome. I can really show you that very quickly. Let me close this up just by telling you that then I added some rules here. Okay, so that it follows the rules. But so the brand voice, okay, here I added it as a document. Okay, Alex is asking us an awesome question. So mine is actually a document here. My brand voice, is added as a knowledge piece, as an uploaded knowledge piece. Let me see if this is. I'm gonna make myself small again so that you guys can see that a bit better. Let me see if I can do this. Here we go. So it's added as a document. I can show you that document. Give me a second. So I get that document out for you. My brand voice. All right. So this is an awesome question. I'm very happy to receive that question. So I will show you what that is. Awesome. Yeah. Thank you, Laila. I did that. I think the comments come a little bit later. So my brand voice, Alex and everybody else, okay, I'm going to share my screen now, is a document. Is a document, okay, that, let me zoom in a little bit. Oh, zoom in. Come on. There we go. It's my brand voice, right? My brand voice, it's my writing style guide for LinkedIn posts. How I write them is personal, relatable, is direct, conversational. I use some hashtags. There's visuals and videos. I tell it so that it knows. And then I even have my brand voice guide, which is authenticity, approachability, inspirational, engaging, balanced, visual storytelling, consistency. And then here I even have a prompt structure for my LinkedIn posts, right? So how I do the introduction, then the transition to professional insight, the core message inside my LinkedIn post, a visual or video reference, engagement elements, blah, 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 all of that. Then I even have that for my newsletter, right? So how my newsletter's brand voice is, right? It's provocative, thought provoking. It's a personalized journey sharing. Then I even talk about, step-by-step framework for achieving my newsletter goals. What's my plan, my content plan. It's a bit of a 5-page, and then I also do for my blog post, okay? And it's a 5-page document, and it has, as you can see, even my framework for writing blog posts. So it's a 5-page document, okay, that talks about how I do my LinkedIn, how I do my newsletter, how I do my content, how I do my blog, how I do everything, even emails and stuff like that, right? So when you put that in, at least the GPT now is trained on this, right? It has access to this knowledge, okay. And to make it even easier, I have a little bit of this instructions. Let me see if I can get that share of ChatGPT again very quickly for everybody. Are we back? Yes. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. So also, I have a little bit of that inside my instructions, but I have my brand voice there. I'm not sure this is the best use case of a brand voice, because you should also put it inside, in my opinion. But I do have that already in here as well. I say how my newsletter is personal, engaging. My newsletter doesn't have hashtags, which are reserved only for LinkedIn posts. I talk about the structure of my newsletter. So I do talk about this here as well. So it has quick access, because when you have a document, you should also tell ChatGPT what the documents are and when to get it, right? So you could say, each time I want to edit a piece of content, tap into my brand voice and make sure that it fits my brand voice. If you say that to your GPT as an instruction, every time you say, let's edit this piece, it's going to be like, oh, awesome, we're editing a piece, so I need the brand voice guidelines. I need that document. I'm going to go and I'm going to compare it. You can even put some examples of posts, right? So here you can see I have some other documents. I have 3 more documents. One is my top blog post. Literally, I took 12 of my blog posts and I put it in a document, and it's there. I took my top LinkedIn post. I think it's 20 LinkedIn posts I have there. And then I took my top weekly newsletters that I love. I was like, wow, I love this edition. So I put them in a document and I put them in the knowledge, right? And because I put them in the knowledge, they're there, right? So when I say, oh, what was my top LinkedIn post that has this engagement? I even have that. It says, oh, it was this one. I'm like, oh, that's great. Can we do a version of that? But instead of, I was talking about the sea, let's talk about the sky, right? Which I don't do that. But you see, it's a quick example, before, because my brain is not working the best today, as I'm a little bit ill. But I'm here. I'm still alive. We're gonna do this together. Don't worry. Let's go. Cool. So, so examples that can be silly today, but if you do ask a question, I can see if I can get a better example as we go along. But the idea is, because I have all these knowledge, this GPT is kind of trained on this, right? Because it has all this. It has all these documents. It has this knowledge. It can tap into it. When I say, hey, that newsletter that I loved, I say, oh, this one you mean? Or I'm like, yeah, well, no, the one with blah blah blah. And it's like, okay, you mean this one? I'm like, yeah, that was great. Can we write something like that again? But this time I want it to be about something else, right? The reference, the context, and examples is what makes GPTs incredible. And everybody's like, oh, well, ChatGPT's crap. ChatGPT's dead. Like all that kind of stuff. Because I don't believe them. Because they're basically, basically swearing at my best friend. And when they do that, I get really upset. And I bet you don't want to upset me, because I'm giving you free value here, right? So don't say bad stuff about my best friend, okay? If you don't know how to communicate with my best friend, that's your problem. But I can help you solve that problem by coming to my webinars, by following my newsletter, by following my LinkedIn. It's all free material for you. So I can fix that problem. Okay. Awesome. Cool. So let's continue on that. I'll make myself a bit smaller again. So you've understood what goes into a GPT, right? We talked about the capabilities before, but they're here on the bottom left, which we're going to do it together in a second, right? The web browsing, the DALL-E image generation, and the code interpreter. Okay, the code interpreter also means that it can upload files and you can download files. Okay, I think you can still download files without the code interpreter, but you can't upload files into ChatGPT, right? But we can test it together. And then in another webinar, maybe I'll show you all about actions. Action, it gets a little bit more advanced, a little bit more techy. This is where you need, this is where we talk about a bit of coding kind of language you need it here with the OpenAI schema. But luckily, you even have a get help from Actions GPT. So it's a GPT to help you do actions on your own GPT, which is amazing, isn't it? And that's really the idea: is having multiple GPTs doing different things. Is the army of robots. That's the images that I do in Midjourney lately on my LinkedIn is all about. There's a warlord. He's a robot or as a human, and he has lots of robots coming with him, and those are your GPTs. In a nice way. Don't go hurt anybody. Okay. Disclaimer: don't do that. Okay, that's not nice to people. Cool. So this is very advanced stuff. I'm even, I'm not amazing at it yet because I didn't need it much yet because I can use Zapier, Make, other automation tools to integrate with my GPTs or with OpenAI's Assistance API, which I can talk about that in another webinar. But if you do have a question, I'll tackle it here. But let's go and show you one more GPT before we actually build our GPT. Because I think it's important to have a couple more examples. One more example. The other one that I'm very proud of that is, that you can go public access. It's called Revenue Catalyst. The Revenue Catalyst has also quite good instructions. Okay, and here it's Revenue Catalyst GPT specialized in supporting sales related tasks like market analysis and so on. Actually, yeah, there was a QR code there. Maybe we can put that up for another second. If you scan that QR code on your phone even now, you'll be able to access the Revenue Catalyst. It's free for use, so go use it and abuse it. And if you have feedback, there's like a feedback button. So please give me some feedback. I'd love it because I iterate on it all the time. So this GPT is all about doing cold emails, personalizing them, researching leads, and so on. So it's very sales, and it has a bunch of instructions according to that. Okay, and then it has a few conversation starters that will build, but it has again some knowledge documents. It has about 6 knowledge documents. This one, and some examples for you to understand why I have these knowledge documents. One is like objection handling guide. So there's a different frameworks of objection handling. One is a guide to target customers, so that it knows how to understand target customers and help you with that. Then there's another one, demo qualifying close discovery calls. Another one is a comprehensive guide to copywriting. I think this one or no, sorry, this one is a comprehensive guide to email personalization, and this one is mastering cold email copywriting. Okay, and this is assess your B2B sales process or something like that. And they're quite long documents, by the way. They are pages and pages and pages and pages of documents. So suddenly what it does is that this GPT has also that knowledge again. Right, and as you can see here, to understand a little bit about the capabilities, I have DALL-E image generation turned off because I really don't need it to the image generation. I don't want people to come here and to the images. That's not the case. Here there's web browsing. Why? The web browsing is mainly you can write, find 5 facts about Tim Cakir, CEO of TaskDrive, and it's going to go find 5 facts about me. It's going to look at my personal website. It's going to look at some of my blogs or whatever, and then it says Tim is a growth addict. Tim loves AI, and then a couple other facts. And with those facts, then you can say, "Oh, can you personalize now a cold email?" Right, and then it'll personalize an email for you, custom to that person. Right, so and that's what's very important. And the code interpreter is if you do have any CRM data, if you have any sales frameworks, that you've built or a system for yourself, and you want it to be assessed by this GPT, you can upload that and it will assess it. Okay, and if you had your USP document, your unique selling point document, or your sales documents and you want it to analyze them, you can also do the same thing by just putting it there. Okay, cool. So that was another GPT example. Okay, so let's build one now together. I didn't get any idea on the chat of what we should build. So I'd love to see if anybody has an idea of what we should build today. If you have an idea of what you want it to be built, put it on the chat because I'm very curious. Let's see. I'm waiting another second to see if anybody has an idea of a GPT build. If not, I'm gonna have to freestyle a GPT. And actually, I do have one use case myself that I wanted to build, so I might build that for our social media associates, right? She'll be pleased because I was going to start that anyways. But I'm going to do that on my team account, which I'm going to show you in a second. Okay, cool. I don't see anybody else's ideas. Is there any idea I'm missing? Anybody? Yeah, so I'm building the social media associate. Thank you. All right, that's what we're building. Awesome. So let's go ahead and build that. Cool. So we know who is this for actually. Okay, so when we look back at our plan, if you remember, we need to have a plan. Okay, my plan is to build it for my social media associate so that she can have better ideas on social media for TaskDrive for my company, right? So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna switch here actually my workspace. Okay, 1 second. So that we were on my personal account, and a lot of people are asking me questions. And out there on LinkedIn, there's really bad information, by the way. So be careful. Some people don't even understand the difference of these accounts and how they work. So if you have any questions, please come to me. If I don't know it, I'll just learn it and bring it to you. One that is writing my thesis in Maya, that's already available. Go on to Explore GPTs and write thesis writer. I bet you there's hundreds of those, right? There's a lot of those. Seriously, I've seen a bunch of great stuff like that, and you can definitely use them, at least for a great draft. Okay, so I'm gonna switch this to TaskDrive, okay, which is my team account. Because there we can actually have a few more members and users. And what's great there, and I don't use this much yet because we're very new. It was a couple weeks ago, as you know. And I use my personal a lot, but slowly I'm building here. And here I'll show off a couple of GPTs of Oliver. He'll be very happy because I know he's also on the webinar, and even Eileen has one. So Oliver built an SDR assistant. So that Oliver is our head of operations. So he's built a GPT to help our SDRs, okay, to enhance their daily routine. He's built one for himself that I love, is the team review assistant, so that he gets, because he's the head of operations, so he's got a lot of. Could you please zoom in a bit more? I hope I'm zoomed in enough. He has a lot of reviews to do for each team member. So he built himself a assistant for completing team reviews. I built a visual generator for TaskDrive, so it just does images. The meal plan creator was good for sure, but I think we missed that one now. Where is it? Here we go. And then we have a webinar wizard that Eileen built, my executive assistant. She built it so that she can get these webinars ready quicker. So by mistake, I clicked on it apparently. I don't know how that worked. So I don't want that. So we're going to go back to exploring them. Here we go. Be a bit faster internet so that we can be quicker. So you see, what's great about a team space is that these are just for the team, just for the TaskDrive team, just for us, right? And Eileen can build them. Oliver, head of operation, can build them. Jay, our HR, hopefully is going to build some. I'm going to build some, right? And then we share all these GPTs together so we can do our jobs quicker. Okay, cool. So I'm going to build one here. Okay, so I'm going to press create. Okay, so as you can see, what happens when you press create, you come to the configure section. Okay, so how the GPT building works, let me see what happened here. Okay, I have to change my share. Yep. I love this. Sometimes it does this. There we go. Technical issues, but we're gonna be back live now. Boom. Okay, so I clicked on create GPT. ICAS Enterprises, howdy from Tennessee. You are sharing some amazing information. Well, thank you very much. I'm here. Ask me questions. I'm here to share everything I know, and I do that on my newsletter, on my LinkedIn, on my webinars. Ask me. I'm an open book. I'm not that smart, but whatever I have, that little smartness, I'll share it with you guys. Okay, at least I can give that back to the world. Okay, so we're creating a new GPT. So when you're building GPTs, the first thing that you see is this configure section. We arrive in this configure section, and on the left there is a button called create. Okay, these are two different spaces, by the way, of building. I'm going to show you. And then on the right you have the preview. The preview is really where you can actually start testing, so that you can test and iterate on your GPT. Okay, very important, very important, but not in the beginning, because we don't have anything yet to test. Okay, so the create section, I think this is like, I'd call it, in a nice way, like there's the dummy proof books. I have one here, Logic Pro X for Dummies. So the create section is really dummy proof. Okay, it's actually chatting to GPT builder so that it starts building it. Okay, which I don't like it. And I'll tell you why. The other day, I spent, what was it, Eileen? I spent an hour. I spent an hour building my newsletter assistant, talking to it and telling all the things I wanted to be done. And then the instructions that it came up with was just this small. And that really drove me crazy, because I guess I'm not just a basic user anymore. I'm a little bit more advanced. And that really, drive me nuts. So you can start it here. It's very good to find a name and do an image. Okay, so let me just zoom in a little bit. Okay, and I wish I could close all these. Let me turn these off very quickly, so that I don't know if the Grammarly is going to turn off. No, okay, let's keep that. So here, the first question is going to ask, what would you like to make? We say we're going to make a social media associate or assistant. I'm going to call it the social media. I want to, and I'm going to do another trick if this works. 1 second. I want to build an assistant for my social media associate at TaskDrive. Okay, so I just dictated it, so I don't have to type, because I'm a bad typer. All right, so we've said it. So what it does already, it's updating the GPT. As you can see, it's building itself, right? By just speaking to it. I spoke to it, but you can also text to it. Right, so it's not going to last long. It's going to come now. And what it's going to do potentially is going to come up with a name first, or it's going to ask me a couple more questions. Okay, so let's see. How about here we go, call this GPT social media helper. Yeah, okay, well, it's not bad. Do I have another name in my mind that says, yeah, I was thinking social media assistant? Let's do that. I was thinking to call it social media assistant. All right, so I entered that information. So now it's going to think again a little bit, and then it's going to go bloop, 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 bloop. It's going to do a little thing. Oh, it's already started to generate a profile picture. Great. So what it's doing is tapping into its own technology, which is DALL-E 3, right? It's an image generation technology model, and it's building a profile picture. The profile picture is so that it gives, here on the top left, as you can see, it's empty. Ooh, let me see if I can zoom in. It's empty. So that's going to become something else now. Do you need a special type of feature to be able to talk to it? Oh, that's an awesome question. Well, no, actually, this is a setting from the Mac, right? It's a shortcut on the Mac, so that you don't type. It's more like a setting to help people that can't type and stuff like that. So I have it active, and I have it on 2 little clicks, which is control, and then the mic appears, and wherever I am, I can just dictate to it. It's a dictation kind of setting. But you can have different Chrome extensions that you can do that. And also, by the way, the mobile app of ChatGPT is incredible, because there's all like voice chat and stuff like that, and people make fun of me because I talk to it sometimes half an hour. I have meetings with it, and they're like, "Who are you having a meeting with?" I'm like, "Well, with ChatGPT." I have actually a blog post about how to have a meeting with ChatGPT, so check it out on my blog, blog.timcakir.com. Anyways, so let's go back. Oh, okay, cute, sweet. I'm not gonna say that it's too pinky and too colorful, which, to be honest, I know that my social media associate, she's gonna like it. She's gonna like these colors, and I know even my executive assistant is gonna like these colors, right? So, so they're both ladies, and they like pinkish colors and stuff. They're sweet ladies. So I'm gonna let them have that pink color. Okay, they do like pink color, by the way. So they can have that. So I like it. Okay, I'm gonna say yes, this is good. I'm just typing now quickly. All right, so we're happy with the profile picture. Great. So now what I love is where we start getting into a little bit more the meat, right? What specific tasks should it prioritize in assisting with social media activities? Okay, well, that's very simple. Here we go. You ready? We're going to dictate this one to be quick. Let me see. I want it to help with creating LinkedIn posts, creating ideas for LinkedIn posts, creating content for YouTube webinars, for LinkedIn webinars, to be able to repurpose blog items from our TaskDrive website. I wanted to also have ideas about videos. I wanted to also edit drafts that we have. I wanted to be able to do anything that is needed to have a successful social media strategy. So I've typed that, and on the side, I think by mistake I had typed it. So on the side, you can see that what's the best time to schedule posts. Apparently, I clicked that I said that by mistake there. But anyways, we don't care about the testing right now. We're focused on the left. Okay. So I have dictated that I wanted to help with creating LinkedIn posts, creating ideas for LinkedIn posts, creating content for YouTube webinars, LinkedIn webinars, repurposing blog items, and so on. Cool. So it says, now that we've outlined the tasks and priorities, let's talk about tone and voice of communication. How do you want social media assistant to communicate? Should it be formal, casual, or somewhere in between? That's awesome, because it's for TaskDrive is somewhere in between. If it was for myself, it's very casual, right? But I don't want also TaskDrive to be too formal. Okay, so I can say that. Well, it's for a B2B company, so I'd like it to be a bit casual, but not too casual friendly. That is silly, and definitely not super formal, because it's not for Fortune 500s. It's not an enterprise company; it's a SMB, and we are really friendly people at TaskDrive. So I've given it a little bit the brand voice, as Alex, I think it was Alex was asking earlier, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Alex was asking. So I gave it a little bit of brand voice, as you can see, but I could definitely upload or even bring copy and paste more about TaskDrive's brand voice later. Oh, iCast love the colors, which is awesome. I'm glad. Yeah, I think the colors are cute. I like a bit more orange than pink. Like I like blacks and orange, and a bit of like sage blue and sage green and blues, stuff like that. Um, so how many custom GPTs would you suggest a small business have? That's a great question. Well, to be honest, it's according to how many use cases and how many problems would you like GPTs to solve. So what I say in the beginning, I think the first thing to do, I'm just gonna make myself a tiny bit bigger while I'm talking about this, so that we can put that question up, because it's a really good question. Okay, so the idea is that if you can start building a GPT as an assistant to anybody, right? So I have a GPT for, like, right now what we're building is an assistant to my social media associate, so that she's like an assistant of marketing, right? Because she does social media, and she'll have her own assistant. What we saw the examples earlier from Oliver, our head of operations. He built an assistant to our SDRs. We're building one to our HR, right? We're building one for our lead researcher. We're building one for our operations. We're building one for the CEO, whatever. So that first assistant you build is incredible. That's already a huge start. And then you can really start going a little bit more niche and go like this. iCast Enterprises is, I would think about, what would be your dream team if you had all the budget and you could hire anyone you wanted, right? How would your marketing team look like? You'd have somebody for the webinars. You'd have somebody for the newsletters and blogs, for content that is text content. You'd have somebody for social media. You'd have somebody for partnerships or affiliate marketing. You'd have somebody for I don't know what. You'd have, let's say, five people in your marketing team, right? Why don't you build five GPTs? They're very specific, and then you suddenly have a team of marketers. Yeah. How could I incorporate this method to help build out my or social media and marketing? I'm not sure I understand the question. Is that to build your own social media and marketing GPT? If that's the case, this is exactly what we're doing right now. So you could just copy this and do the same for yourself, and that would help you all country off road. So Oliver, weekly client reporting GPT. Wow, Oliver is going even deeper, right? And I love him because our head of operations, he goes even deeper. So he goes for a big task, which reporting to clients every week, right? And he builds one for that, so that it has all the ins and outs and feedback from all departments involved, which is amazing, right? So really, it's up to you. You can go a little bit more, no more to the point, just getting our brand noticed. I don't. No more to the point, just getting our brand noticed. I am not sure I understand Old Country Off-Road. How can I help? GPT is going to help you do stuff, so you're still going to have to do it. So you can build yourself an assistant, a marketing assistant, and so on, right? And if you do that, then you can talk to it and say, hey, can you give me 10 LinkedIn posts? And then you can go do them. Yeah, you can build a marketing assistant, like exactly what we're doing now, but you wouldn't do just social media. You do more a marketing assistant. It could be a bit more generic, and it could do a bit of social media. It could prepare webinars. It could prepare. I think you're on YouTube, so it could prepare YouTube descriptions, right? It could prepare YouTube ideas, scripts, YouTube posts or whatever, like things like that. You could ask it to do. I'm going to show a little bit of that now. So let's continue that if that's okay. All right. So we're building at the moment our social media assistant, which is an assistant, a GPT assistant to our social media associate, right? And time flies when we talk about GPTs. No worries, Old Country. I was confused, and I'm on quite heavy painkillers, so I think that's not helping today. Sorry about that. But yeah, send me a message. I'd be more than happy to help as well. By the way, I will be building my GPT team today. Yes, the insurance educator, go build your team now. And if you need help, go on my newsletter, ping me, send me a message. I'll be happy to test them out, and I'll give you some feedback as well. Right? And please do give me feedback on mine. Go test them. So what is asking me now, the GPT builder is asking me next, is there anything specific you'd like social media assistant to avoid when interacting or providing assistance? That's an awesome question, because there is a lot of things that GPT and ChatGPT does that we all hate, is assumptions, right? And fluff and saying silly stuff, right? So we're gonna talk about that now to it. So I'm gonna say, I would like to make sure that it avoids any assumptions. So no assumptions. Always ask for clarification before doing anything. Right? Do not assume. Also, I would like it to make sure that there are no fluffy words and marketing jargon and BS. So I think BS it didn't understand, so it is NBS. I don't know if it's going to understand if I take the N out. Let's see. Okay, BS, you know what it's short for, guys. So I'm not going to say it here on the live streaming. But it asked me what you don't want it to do, right, to avoid. So I'm going to add that. Awesome. iCast and insurance educator are going to have an army of GPTs by this evening. I tell you. Awesome. Go do it. I'm very excited for you guys. Yeah, because it's really a game changer. It's a game changer. So please do follow my LinkedIn. I do share a lot of stuff about all this in my newsletter. Again, it's all free content for all of you. Right. So go do that. Okay, amazing. Final question. Finally, how would you like social media assistant to personalize its interaction? Should it reference specific industry trends, user preferences, or any other personalization aspects? Yes, our industry is very specific into outsourcing repetitive work to virtual assistants, but with the power of AI. So we are in the AI space, we're in the productivity space, but also in the outsourcing space. And our preferences is, friendly tone, not too formal, but not also very silly informal, as I mentioned earlier. And personalization is, by making sure asking the right questions, to not have any assumptions and not make it generic AI content. Cool. So I'm going to send that. Okay. And then I'm going to show you what is done. It's built, is updating the GPT again, as you can see. Right. That's been updated again. I know we're over time, but I have some time, so I can hang out here. You can hang out here if you have some time. We'll go another 10 minutes or so. We'll just test this just to show you, and then I'll finish my quick presentation and have, if there's more questions. But I know that people are asking questions as we go. So just continue that, and I'll tackle them as we go. Um, and each time my webinars are always longer than an hour, and I'm like, I'm gonna do 45 minutes, but no, I just enjoy it so much. Even if I'm super ill and I'm about to pass out, I enjoy really your energy, guys. So so be active on that comment section. That really gives me the best energy. Like, that's the best painkiller ever, to know that I'm helping some people out there. It's just bliss. Cool. So here we go. Social media assistant is now fine-tuned to cater to the AI productivity and outsourcing industries, focusing on providing tailored, relevant advice without assumptions. I love it. It will maintain a friendly yet professional tone. That's exactly what I wanted. Asking targeted questions to deeply understand user needs and preferences. Feel free to test Social Media Assistant in the preview on the right. Oh, it's telling me what to do now, right? So now we go to the right section, okay, and we can test. But before that, what I want to show you what happened is these conversations we had on the left, that conversation has filled up the instructions, right? So when you go and configure, you see the instructions, you can open them up. Suddenly it's filled these instructions. It's not huge. This is why, as I mentioned, it's a great starting point. But from here, what I would do is I would say, here's an example of a LinkedIn post. Here are some keywords. So here's what we're doing, what we're not doing. Here's an example of a webinar description. And I would keep filling this up myself instead of just using the create. The create is awesome to get you from that zero to one, so something is working. But I think to get 1 to 100 is really the configure section. Okay, Jason, I'm glad that you enjoyed, buddy. All the best. If you can stay, I'm still around. Cool. So it's filled up the instructions, it's filled up the description, of course, the image, as you can remember in the beginning, with the beautiful pink colors, right? And it also brought some conversation starters. The conversation starters, it's so that you're not stuck when you arrive, and they're always ready here. It's like, how can I improve engagement on my post? Can you analyze the performance of my last campaign? What's the best time to schedule posts? Suggest hashtag for my next post, right? So stuff like that. So good to hear that, Laila. I'll put that out there, that I'm helping people. That's why I'm doing these. I want to help you all. I'll get the power here because uh, okay, Jason is taking us. Also, we can build some together, Jason. Don't worry. You have direct access to me. So, cool. So conversation starters are there. And as you can see on the bottom left, it's chosen some capabilities already. It's chosen web browsing, which is great. It's chosen image generation, which is also cool because we can get some images for the blog post or for the LinkedIn post. But it hasn't chosen code interpreter, so it doesn't think that we'll upload documents to it or something like that. But to be honest, I'm gonna put this for this use case. Sorry, and 1 second, I'm gonna get some water, guys, because I can't even breathe or speak anymore. All right, I'm fresh and I'm back. Here we go. Cool. So we've added code interpreter because we can upload files to it. Okay. And why I would do this on social media is because there might be a document we created with a few examples or with few social media posts that was already done. I know that my social media associate uses spreadsheets, sheets on Google, and she builds drafts, right? And she'll be able to export it as a CSV from Sheets, and she'll be able to import it here, right? And say, hey, can you check out my post? Which ones do you think is good? Or can you help me optimize them, right? So if she wants to be able to do that and upload a file, then she needs that capability. So I've said that to yes. There is no knowledge document, as you can see. We could do the same thing I've done with my content crafter to say, here are our top 10 LinkedIn posts that worked for TaskDrive. Here are our top 10 newsletters. Here are our top 10 articles. Here are XYZ, right? You can upload all these files, and these files are also in the back of the instructions as a knowledge. And when you say to the instructions, you say, if I ask you best LinkedIn post, make sure to refer to that document called, right? And then you say the name of the document, and then the instruction, it's like a human, right? It says, oh, okay, somebody asked me about my LinkedIn post. Then it says, okay, let me check, because of my instruction I was told, right, to go check this document. And then it's going to go open up the document, and when that happens, it goes, there's a little round circle comes in, like a loading thing, and it says checking document, checking document, and it goes, it checks, and it comes back, it says, well, I've analyzed that document, and here is the best post, or here's how to do it, here's things like that. Do these custom GPTs cost extra or require tokens? Okay, wow. Okay, that's an awesome question. So the good news here is that it doesn't because it's on ChatGPT, right? So on ChatGPT, the difference is that you for the membership that you're paying, or the $20 a month, right, or the $25 if you're on a team plan annually, or $30 monthly on a team plan, okay, or 20 on a personal plan, you have unlimited access, right? So it doesn't cost, but you do sadly at the moment have some limits with 4 because the whole world is using 4. So at some point you get stuck, but it renews in like 3 hours. With ChatGPT Teams, you have much more limit, so you can do that, but it doesn't cost you anything extra, if that's the question, right? So it really doesn't cost extra. The difference that you're speaking about is when you're on the OpenAI platform on the playground. There you are charged per token, right? A credit-based system on there. But on ChatGPT, the awesome thing is that you are not based on a credit system. You are based on your subscription. So what you pay monthly is the fee that you pay, and that's it, right? Just sometimes you get limited. But that's going to get better because 3.5 used to have limits. Then 4 started to have the limits, but the limits were much smaller, if you guys remember. And then the limit got bigger, and the limit is getting bigger. As the technology evolves, as the chip technology also evolves, and as it's an incredible growth, to be honest, in this space. It's so fast, it reduces the cost of these tokens and stuff like that. So in 3 months time, we might not have even any limits on 4, maybe not even 30 months, so those days are coming. And every week we have amazing updates and advancement in the space. So follow up my newsletter for that as well, because on my newsletter I'm going to be showing you how we're building the new TaskDrive, how we're building these GPTs, how we're building prompts, how we're the best tools and all that kind of stuff. It's all on my newsletter. Cool. Awesome. Great questions. I love it. Let's just get back here just to test this, and then we'll finish with the presentation. I'm glad that some people are still here. Awesome. Cool. So I've done that. For now, I'm going to say that's good. But, if you're building something very solid and you want it to do amazing things, now go into the configure, open that box, and now think what else tasks you want it to do, what else, like all the stuff that you have in your mind, come and tell it. Okay, that's really where the magic starts. This is just the first layer, and a lot of people give up here, and then they're like, oh, I built a GPT. Well, yeah, your GPT is okay. It's okay, it's great, well done, it's a great start, don't get me wrong. But if you want it to be really advanced, like a marketing assistant, like a social media assistant or whatever, you're going to have to do a bit more work. Okay, and it takes time, iteration. Oh, I love that question. Can I get to that question in a minute? I'm gonna get to that question in a minute because it's an awesome question. Let's just finish it. So just to test this, So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna ask it. Can you give me 10 LinkedIn ideas? Because I'm stuck today and I need to do a post about GPTs and our webinar and our upcoming webinar. Right. So now I'm prompting it that, but what happens, what it's doing is that it has all that instruction and has all that we given it, right? And it's going and it's starting to give me a few ideas already. Educational teaser post, behind the scenes sneak peek, and it's gonna know that we're in the AI and outsourcing industry. It knows all the instructions we gave. I mean, our instructions are not life changing because they're not super advanced. I would do even more. I would make them even more advanced. But a lot of things are already happening, right? So this is perfect because if I was stuck in my job, right, and I was like, oh, I'm not very creative today. I don't have an idea, or I didn't sleep well, or I'm on painkillers, like me, and I don't know what post to do. Here we go. We found already a bunch of ideas, and then you can start here just to show you a little bit. Okay, let's draft 7. It says it's an infographic. So I'm just going to tap in a little bit also into the visual part of it just to show you that it can do some visuals. So here we go. We're getting a draft, okay? And because we have our brand voice a tiny bit, very tiny bit there about friendly and not so formal and stuff, it's gonna do that, okay? Which is amazing. Amazing. Okay. And if I had more descriptions, hashtags to use, things not to use, and so on, it'd do even a better job. This is why I spend a bit more time on the instructions. Today, we've been here already an hour, 10 minutes, but a good GPT will take you 8 to 10 hours. If you really want it to be good, an hour here to start it, an hour next week or in a couple days when you're like, oh, I wanted this, I wanted that. Couple more hours when you're like, oh, now I wanted to do advanced stuff, and then you keep testing it. That's another hours, a couple hours. So that's 6 hours, let's say 6, 7, and then you give it to people. And then people test it out. I tried to do this and it didn't do this well. Why did it not do that well? And then you're like, oh, okay, I'm going to put that into my GPT, right? So that's also where magic starts happening. But as you can see, it's done something awesome. It has something good. Yeah. So I'm going to ask here, can you give me a banner for this post? A visual, right? Because it has visual capabilities, it's going to give that as well. All right, it's creating image while I'm coughing like mad. All right, so it's going to give me an image. I just wanted to show you that, and then we're going to finish with the presentation while I still can speak. Here we go. So, of course, as if you know, image generation with AI, it sucks at text. It absolutely sucks at text. Look at that. Generative pre-tied. Thumbs more thumbs. Or maybe it's a great language that it understands, but we don't understand. And then it goes into weird stuff, right? So I would say no text, but I love the visual, right? So you could say no text, I love the visual. And then you can add text on Canva yourself, right? But it did an image as well, or it tried to do an image that was representing our webinar, which is a good start, okay? So now I'm seeing if I can get myself back here. What's happening? Awesome. There we go. Cool. Doing this. Awesome. So just to zoom out, here we go. All right, cool. So it can do that capability of image generation as well, but you can dial in, right? It speaks GPT's gibberish. Yeah, absolutely. I cast, it does that, right? It sucks a little bit in that sense, but I do believe it's coming. There's gonna be updates very soon. There'll be DALI 4 that will do better. MJ Midjourney does already better text. If you put them in parentheses or in brackets, it'll do a better text than DALI at the moment. But there are a lot of great things happening in the space, and as I said, it's every week there's new evolution in technology. So we're gonna see that very, very soon. Cool. So that was really GPT building. Just to complete a little bit what we came for. It's here. Here we go. All right. So just to reiterate a tiny bit for everybody to leave with even higher value. Okay. So we build a GPT. It was kind of your idea, social media stuff, because I know my executive assistant sent me a message secretly and said, can you build that now? So I said yes. So don't forget, test it, learn of the test results, what it comes with is bad, is good, blah blah blah, and then keep iterating on it, right? And the iteration is you going back to the instruction and adding more instructions, okay? Editing the instruction, but also adding more. That instruction was this small. That instruction should be this big, right? And then it starts really being a very, very successful GPT. And then go live, celebrate it. It's an awesome moment when you build these GPTs. Go live, give it to the people that you want to use. If you're giving it to the world, give it to the world. If you're giving it to your team, give it to your team. If you're giving it to yourself, give it to yourself. Go live, keep using it, use it every day, right? So I share all my free knowledge, of course, but you can enhance your productivity if you don't want to do these, or you have other entrepreneurs or friends that are looking for virtual assistants. This is exactly what we do at TaskDrive. What we do, we just pivoted a few, like at the beginning of the year. What we do is we train the best virtual assistants out there. We train them with this knowledge that I'm showing you, with building GPTs, with prompt engineering, with other tools like Gamma to do presentation, Tapio to do LinkedIn stuff, with Midjourney to do visuals. We train these amazing VAs with these, and we give them the best tools, the knowledge, and then they become your virtual assistant, and they work full time for you, 40 hours a week with the best and the greatest out there. So you can delegate about 80% of your repetitive tasks, right? To our VAs. They're really good at marketing and sales tasks and design tasks a bit as well. But it's all about, our VAs are here to help you grow. They're not here for fluff things like, clean my inbox or book me a holiday. No, it's like, come help me do marketing, come help me do sales, come let's do outbound, let's do this, let's do LinkedIn, let's do X, let's do commenting and stuff. That's what our VAs are for. We have a list of systems of how to do X, like how to do LinkedIn Sales Navigator building lists step by step. We have and all the tools according to that, and we have all the training with all the tools, and we train them, and then we give them these systems, and then you get them. And by the way, as an early bird until the summer or so, until I have my second child coming, I am the strategist, but I am building some strategies in the company. That means that I come on onboarding calls with you. I help you plan out your 3 months goals and so on, and how you're going to achieve them with your VAs. So, and that's included in the VA price, and it's a transparent price. You can check on the QR. It's $2,500 a month. It's a full-time person. It's a month-to-month package. You can cancel in 2 weeks, right? We're very confident about the value we bring, because you saw the value today, and think about someone doing this all day and keep doing tasks with these GPTs and with these prompts and stuff like that. So also we have a referral and affiliate program. So if you bring me leads, I give you money. I'll give you money, guys. So check that out. If you do have any great leads that you want to send it my way, tim@taskdrive.com, or on LinkedIn. Get entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, consultant coaches, or founders of 1 to 10 people, of companies of 1 to 10 people, are like the ideal spot, but also some executives, of course. So that's a little bit the marketing side of today, the promotional side of today. That's it. The rest was free value, right? So do you have any other questions? I know that we tackled a bunch of the questions, but let me know. Great plan. Awesome. Well, my top blog post and top let me put my face back. Now that was just Q&A. We can do this. Actually, I can even get rid of the screen now. Yeah, well, my top blog posts are my blog posts, and my top LinkedIn posts are my LinkedIn posts. On LinkedIn is much more conversational, and it's like sentence space, sentence space, sentence space, and shorter. And my blog posts are long articles that are 1,200 words and so on. So they're very, very different, and even the voice is a little bit different in each. In LinkedIn is much more friendly, casual, very quick, and the articles is much longer stuff. Wow, now my ADHD really is in overdrive. Well, well, that overdrive, Jason, I think is go and channel that out into GPTs. And that really works really well. I've done that. When I'm like, oh, then I go build something. I learn something. Lately, I've been learning Journey image generation. That helped me calm myself. So don't forget about my newsletter. My newsletter is here, I think, as well. Let me see. This is, I think, where I really share the best that I have for you guys. The QR code is there as well. You can scan it. So my newsletter, it's weekly. It's on Wednesdays. It's coming out in a bit, and it's every Wednesday. Normally, I miss it sometimes, rarely. But it's where I curate articles, LinkedIn highlights, media items that I read, that I watch, listen, transformative tools, and they're all handpicked by me, and it's really tailored for the ambitious people out there, which are you, because you are here at the webinar, so you are ambitious. You want to learn GPTs. Thank you very much, beautiful people. You rock. Okay, connect with me, check out TaskDrive, give us some leads, get some money, sign up to my newsletter, follow my LinkedIn, engage on my LinkedIn, comment on my LinkedIn. It helps reach more people so that other people can learn. I think there's another QR code there somewhere. It's full of QR codes, so maybe I should close one of them, because what happens if it's full, then it might not read the correct one. So that's my LinkedIn. Please do engage. When you engage with my post, it helps so much my reach, and if I reach, I can help many more people. As you've seen, it's all about sharing is caring. Here to help. Check that newsletter link. Could be on my end, but wouldn't open. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, check out my feature section on my LinkedIn. It's there as well if you're missing. I think it did work, but maybe there was double QRs. Maybe something happened there. but we did test it. It was supposed to work, so I'm sorry about that. But yeah, go on my LinkedIn. You'll find it. It's in my featured section. You can also go on timcakir.com slash tool time weekly, and that will be the weekly newsletter. It used to be called the growth letter. We're just rebranding it this week, so it's a surprise because we're gonna get even better at content. Oh wow, I spoke so much. Thank you. Yes, I feel so much better with you guys, but I know what's gonna happen in 10 minutes when that energy drops. I'm gonna be like, so luckily I don't have anything else on this evening. My executive assistant is going to be lovely. She's going to tackle more stuff for me today, and because she's somewhere else in the world and she has AI powers. You can all have people like this working for you, with you, and scale, and that's very important. Then you can be sick and still achieve great things. uh, this was awesome, people. I'm going to repeat this, so follow TaskDrive LinkedIn as well. Get on our newsletter as well, the TaskDrive newsletter on the website, or send me a message, because we're going to do more of these. Thank you very much, Jason. And guys, if you have any ideas of what you want me to cover in any of these webinars, just tell me, and I'll be more than happy to do that. Thank you very much. You guys are so nice. I do feel much better already because of your great energy and your awesome wishes, everybody. Thank you so much. Keep rocking, build your GPTs. And if you have any questions, I'm there. Thanks, everybody. Let's see if this is going to work. Oh, yeah, here we go. Boom. Let's do some fireworks in the meantime. All right. Thank you. Yes, Daryl's all recorded. Thank you, everybody. All the best.